Well, we're talking to John Stutzman today. He is a Renaissance man if I've ever met one. Is that right? I think right.
I guess.
If I were going to use the term, it would be for John Stutzman because you have quite the life story. I was talking to my dad about you recently, and I was trying to tell him a little bit of your story, but it's been a while since you told me. Right now, your profession, daily profession, is you are a professional real estate appraiser here in Yuma,
Yes.
Arizona, and you've been doing that for probably 3-4 decades, right?
I think I went over 20 years
Oh, okay.
years ago.
All right. But you're kind of, I would argue, probably the most experienced here in Yuma by now. I think that's just
I'm going to say I'm probably the most experienced doing hay bale homes.
Hey, but
Did
really?
my fourth hay bale home the other day.
Is that right? People are still doing those?
Oh, yeah.
Is that rammed earth? Is that what you call that? Or you do the hay bales and you do the adobe on the...
So it's more or less a frame-built house, but in between the studs, they stack hay bales.
So your walls are, what is
Right.
it? 2.5,
Yeah.
2.5
at least 2 feet.
2 feet?
And when you drive by one, you can tell because the window is usually recessed way in.
Uh-huh. Hey, what do you think? Is that the way to go?
I think it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But some of the modular things they have now with the foam,
Mm-hmm.
those are the best. And I'm really into the 3D printed homes. Have you seen those?
I haven't seen it in real life. I've seen it on like Facebook, and I don't really believe it, but it makes sense. I have 3D printers, and I love 3D printing, so it's like super easy.
Yeah, they just extrude concrete.
Yeah.
They liquefy it.
Yep.
I don't think it has as much bigger rock in it. So rock is categorized by AB. You see. Oh, I ordered some ABC. Well, that's the size of the rock. A, B, C. The bigger it is, the bigger than the letter, right? Or
Further down the alphabet.
Further down the alphabet.
Sure.
So that stuff I don't think has any D or C or D in it. It's because they have to extrude it. But they can build like a 1,500 square foot house in 2 days.
Yeah. Are we doing that here, though, in Yuma?
No.
How would you get into that?
You have to have some equipment.
You got to invest in
Yeah.
something.
And then because of the volatility of our real estate market and the major builders that we have here, we have Hall Brothers, Anderson, Elliott are the three big builders. Right. Jacobson. Or Jacobson, not Anderson. Anderson's windows.
There you go.
So Jacobson and the big concrete companies, they kind of cater to them. And I remember after COVID, there was like a shortage of concrete, and they allocated, okay, you can only have this many yards of concrete a month or a week or whatever. So if you came in and tried to do a concrete house, company, you would have to have your own concrete company or have a really good contract.
Otherwise, your supply would be choked.
Right.
Yeah. You think that was necessary, looking back?
No.
No. I wonder if they were just like foreseeing maybe something happening, so they were choking the supply.
So
that never really
when
happened.
COVID hit, within a week of them shutting down everything, I received a letter from the governor's office directing me that you will work. You will go out and still do appraisals. So my routine really never changed. And
Just with a mask.
right. Yeah, with a mask. And I got the one that had the little breather thing on the side, which they outlawed after a while.
Why is that? Oh, because everybody rushed to get them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The N95.
But I saw some of the posh women wearing more or less a veil. It wasn't even a mask. It was just like chains or a, like ribbon or something to make it look like a mask. So,
Is that right?
because it does kind of restrict your breathing, but
My favorite were the ones it's all plastic, like your full face mask.
right.
Like, what happens when you sneeze, man? That's gross. It's like, you try and like window wiper that on the inside. Yeah, I don't know about
There you
that.
go.
So you've been doing this for over 20 years, and you're good at it, right? I was under the impression that you did mostly commercial.
No,
No, it's the opposite.
the opposite.
Residential.
Residential.
Yeah.
Commercial to me is boring. I mean, you can make a lot of money doing commercial, but if you have to do, say, a strip mall that's got 5 different businesses in it, You're going to go out there for 2 or 3 days, take a bunch of photos, do some research. Then you're going to be sitting in an office for weeks typing up the report and doing residential. Like yesterday, I did 5 different inspections, and then I'll spend the whole weekend just writing reports. And
Is that right?
it usually takes me 3 or 4 hours to do a report.
One report for one house.
Mm-hmm.
Your business, I feel like, is. I'm concerned. I'm concerned that because of the regulations and the licensing of it, it's kind of stringent, I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a lawyer, we go to law school for 3 years typically, and then you take the bar and boom, you're licensed, you can practice law. But in your field, you've got to do this apprenticeship thing for years.
Yep.
And you've got to find a nice appraiser that's willing to let you tag around for a while.
So that's why it's mostly nepotism, because...
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. So if you came to me and said, hey, can I apprentice under you? It's like saying, yes, I'm hiring you to compete against me in a couple of years.
That's right, yeah.
So that's why it's typically cronyism, nepotism.
I see.
Is how that business grows. And
what if you have
And I'm going to be 62 this year, and I'm young for an appraiser.
Yeah, I would.
Most appraisers.
That's what I'm worried about, is the old generation getting out,
Mm-hmm.
and there's less and less appraisers coming in.
Right.
Is that what you see?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So now, this year, they're implementing a new system. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac kind of orchestrates, or they have a lot of influence on what we do. And they have influence on the forms that we use. We still have the appraisal boards in Washington that dictate what we do, and we have USPAP, the code that we follow.
So federally, I mean, they've got these standards that you have to.
Right.
And then locally, you probably have some stuff too.
Right. And now they're trying to implement a new system, and it's more or less a computer program with pull-down screens that fill out a form or fill out a report, instead of having boxes and blocks and that we type into. Mm-hmm. So you're still going to fill out and type different things in, because all homes are unique.
Sure.
But my opinion is that they're trying to move more toward AI, and AI will be doing appraisals in 20 years. And even the guys that I learned from 25 years ago, they said, oh yeah, appraisers are on the way out, and it's all going to be done by computers. But 20 years later, I'm still doing them.
Yeah.
So the appraisals I'm going to have to do are the 2,000 square foot trailer in Tacna, because there's not enough data that an AVM or automated valuation model that a computer can appraise that.
Sure.
Because it's
too sporadic. It's an outlier.
But if you have a house over here in Sierra Sunset where there's like 4 models and 2,000 houses, and they sell all the time, they're considered like an entry-level home. Mm-hmm. That there's a lot of data, so it's easy for a bank to rely on a computer to say, if I'm going to hedge 80% on my loan, if I'm going to lend them 80% of what I think it's worth, that 20% I'm still going to be able to cover using a computer.
As you're saying that, the thought comes to mind, well, how do I, if I'm one of these homeowners over here, distinguish myself from the others if I go to sell? Because I've heard over the years, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I've always heard that if I add a pool, it adds no value to my house, even though it might be great for me and my family while I'm there. It doesn't really add value, resale value. What do you think about that?
As far as pools, it's going to depend on the market. So if you have a house in the Bluffs, yeah, you better have a pool, because almost all those houses have a pool.
I see. You got to keep up with the Joneses.
Right. But if you're over in Trail Estates, where, who's over there, it's entry-level home, they're small, that probably both parents are working, they can't afford a pool. Pools are expensive. And if you have a pool over there, sometimes it's a negative because of
the upkeep and
a safety hazard.
Wow.
With kids, and then the upkeep of it with chemicals and all that.
If I'm I want to sell my home, where would I focus my energy or money to up my value compared to everybody else?
So if you're trying to get the most out of it as value versus you don't care how long it takes to sell.
Oh wait, tell me that again. I'm not following. So I want to get the most money when I sell it.
Okay. So when you sell it to get the most money, you want it to look the best and you want it to compete with other homes. And really the only way to increase the value of a home is to make it bigger or make it newer. So you upgrade it or renovate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So renovation can get it done.
Right.
If you put it in the right places. So I'll give you an example. Years ago, Jessica and I, we had a home. It was a 2-story home down in Rancho Sereno and neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it was the bones were great, but it was outdated. It was built in the mid 90s, maybe late 90s.
Late 80s, yeah.
Yeah. And so when we took the loan for the house, we did a special loan. I don't remember what it was called, but it allowed us to put additional money, take a little bit more money out for renovations. And that allowed us to resurface the pool. But the additional money, we focused that all on the kitchen and all on the master bath and master bedroom. And we ended up selling it. We made pretty good profit when we sold it compared to everybody else. Is that what you see? So you can renovate some areas that are...
Yeah, those are the 3 things. If your pool looks good and you have a really nice kitchen and nice bathrooms, then after that they look at flooring and then they look, especially out of state buyers, they're looking at storage for toys.
Oh, I see.
That's the big thing.
Garages or something.
Yeah. And that's why Mesa del Sol is pretty hot for the California buyer, because a lot of those houses have RV storage on this side, and that's what they do. They come down here and they want to keep their boat down here instead of dragging it over the mountain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So outside storage is a big one, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking back on my experience of selling that house, and another thing I was surprised about. Well, I have been surprised about, as I have my real estate license, but it's just because we sell houses in what I do in my daily practice. Sometimes through a probate administration or a trust administration. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need to sell a house for that reason. As a lawyer here in Arizona, we have an exemption, so we don't have to have our real estate license. We can use our law license to do that, but it just made sense. And so ultimately what we did was I got licensed. My partner, Sean, got licensed. There's paralegals that were already licensed. So we did our own little brokerage here. Right. And it just made more sense to keep everything in-house. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop, And as I went through that process, what I've often seen is that when a person goes to sell their house, they're so concerned about making it perfect to sell it.
Yeah.
That it's like almost debilitating. They don't move forward getting it ready or on the market.
Right.
And what I've come to see is like buyers don't really care if you just painted, like if I go to paint my walls a color that I think is going to be great, that buyer doesn't, No. So don't waste your time or money putting it in there.
And don't, so my opinion, don't do a lot of repairs. If it's working, just leave it.
Yeah.
If your water heater's working and it's got a little leak, leave it. So here's my rationale. So you're buying my house and you come in and you go, that water heater's leaking. I want it fixed. Okay. So I call the water heater guy. He comes out, puts a new water heater in. I sell the house to you. 3 months later, that brand new water heater starts leaking. So who has the agreement with the water heater guy? You or me? Mm-hmm. Me. Mm-hmm. So now you're going to call me. I'm like, you bought the house. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So instead of me fixing it, I tell you, you know what? I'll give you $500 off the price of it, and you fix it.
I love that.
That way, you have the agreement with the water heater guy, and 3 months down the road, when it breaks, you can call him up and tell him to come fix it.
Yeah, and I think that's a benefit to them, to that buyer, because now they have
same thing with flooring,
anything,
any appliances, anything.
You don't like that? Then let's negotiate on. We'll reduce the price a little bit to give you an incentive to do that. I love that. So
and usually the buyer likes it because they say, I can live with that dirty carpet if I got it, $5,000 off the price.
Right, exactly. Maybe I don't change it. Yeah, it's all psychological.
But you were talking about renovating, so you can run into an issue in the lower level or even the higher level homes when you renovate if you over improve or under improve. I mean, I've seen people build $700,000 houses, and I walk in and they have Formica countertops. Mm. I go, oh, somebody ran out of money when they were building. So, and everybody that walks into that house goes,
It's like, ugh.
"You went with the Formica, huh?" Yeah.
That's one of those things like, we're going to have to take some money off for me to buy this house. Yeah.
Right.
I ran into not an issue, but I ran into a home recently. It's like, it was priced I think it's priced at where it appraises for that, maybe even more, but nobody I feel like is going to buy it at that price because of the interest rates right now. And the price is so high. And because of all the work that you'd have to put into it, it's like, we're never, even if it does value that, nobody's going to pay that, so it just sits and sits and sits. Do you find that often?
Yeah. You'll find buyers, especially somebody that's been in a house for a long time and they're in love with their house. They'll do what's called chase the market down. So as the value of homes lowers, they lower their house, but their house is always at the top of the list of available properties. It's like, and especially if they're still making a mortgage payment on it, it's like, just think how much you could have saved if you would have just lowered the price and sold it and get out of it.
Yeah, interesting.
But
so I want to know more about your background.
Okay.
I want the listeners to know. And I mentioned I brought you up to my dad earlier, and I was trying to explain to him because I just don't remember what religion your family is or was. I don't know how to phrase that, but
it's transitioned over the years.
Yes, yeah. But I guess growing up, you grew up in a community back in East, right?
Right.
What part? Pennsylvania?
So I was born in Ohio, Canton, Ohio. So there's two big areas of Amish back in the day: Pennsylvania and then Holmes County, Ohio.
Yeah.
And Holmes County is like Millersburg, Berlin, down in that area. And that's where we were from, is that area. So my grandfather was adopted by an Amish family, and so he grew up Amish. And my dad was raised Amish. His oldest sister was raised Amish. And when my Uncle Olin was born, they left the King's Church Amish order and started the first Mennonite church in Hartville, Ohio.
Okay. So when I was talking to my dad, I was like, I think he was Amish or Mennonite or one of those, but I didn't realize it was both.
Right. So my dad was raised Amish, still speaks Dutch.
Okay.
If you get him to.
He curses in Dutch.
Yeah.
They don't curse.
Not a lot. And, I mean, anybody who drops a box on their foot's going to say something.
Yeah.
So my dad and my Aunt Nancy were both born before my grandparents were married.
Oh, okay.
So in the Amish order and the Amish tradition, they're considered bastard children.
Right. So what does that mean? I mean, what's the repercussions of that?
So when they went to school, they went to Amish school, they were shunned.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody ate with them. Nobody played with them. They would talk to them, but they wouldn't associate with them.
This is your mom and this is your dad and his sister.
And his sister, my Aunt Nancy. And then when my Uncle Olin was born, he was the third child. They had been married before he was born, and they would introduce him as their firstborn.
Oh, wow.
And there's still, my Uncle Olin is probably 88, and my Aunt Nancy will be 90 this year. Still a rivalry.
Oh, really?
They live within 20 miles of each other, never see each other. Nancy's like, oh, that's too far to drive. I was like, I went 3,000 miles to see you. So, so I knew, I grew up Mennonite, and I knew my grandparents were Amish and then Mennonite, because my grandmother was Amish also. She was a Leaky and a Boley, and my grandfather was a Stutzman. Mm-hmm. So I have like cookbooks and stuff and medicinal books that have been put out, and it has all the Stutzman lineage in it. And there's a Stutzman book that shows where the first Stutzman, Jonathan Stutzman, came over in 1723 on the ship Adventure.
Wow.
And Jonathan Lyons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He calls me, this was months ago, he calls me, he goes, hey, I have one of your cousins with me. I was like, what? He goes, it's a Stutzman from Michigan. And I said, spelled with a Z? He goes, yeah. So he puts him on speaker, and I said, hey, cousin, how's it going? And he goes, I don't know if we're cousins or not. I said, when did your family come over here? And they won't. And he goes, 1723. I said, on the ship Adventure? He goes, how did you know that?
That's awesome.
I said, because we're cousins, that's why.
Yeah.
So,
that's super cool.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Hawaii, or in Ohio. I don't want to say Hawaii.
Ohio. Well, I was born in Ohio, and I think when I was 2 or 3, my dad moved us all to Illinois. There was a guy named Bob Grable whose brother died, and my dad took over his farm, his dairy farm. So I grew up as a farm kid.
Yeah, and that's why when we started this, I said you're a Renaissance man. Because you've told me how you make socks, you make your own socks. Those are gorgeous. You make anything. Molotov cocktails. You can make soap. Soap.
I never told you the end part of the Molotov cocktail, so maybe we're safe. So.
Yeah. I don't remember anyway. I'll have to play it back and see what's the exact recipe here. So I'm interested. I'm ignorant as to Amish and Mennonite. What are the key differences between the two? Would you say in a nutshell?
So the Amish follow a set of rules that all the orders got together, all the bishops and elders got together and set down rules on paper. And so when you're in an Amish order, you typically aren't considered part of the order until you get married and you join the church. So you can be a kid of somebody who's in the church and you're considered Amish and you're speaking Dutch, but you're not part of the church until you join the church. Right?
You get baptized traditionally
in the church, and they don't baptize until after you're 16 because they don't.
You have to have your knowledge.
You have to be knowledgeable and know what you're doing.
Sure. How do they do baptism? Is that by water?
Dunk. Yeah, they dunk
all the way under.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And typically after you get married is when you join the church. And once you get married, that's when you grow beard. And they don't grow a mustache because they're anti-military and they think mustaches are a military thing. Because back in the day, in the military, you didn't grow a beard, but you could grow a mustache.
I see.
And they grow a beard, and part of that is if you're married, that's the way to tell that somebody's married because he's growing a beard.
I see.
Or you can take a wedding ring off, but
you have a beard, you're married.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't just take your beard off.
Yeah. So is there other symbolism to the beard as well? Meaning like a religious connection, or is it more like,
no.
Well, the religious connection would be you're married.
Yeah.
And that's part of the...
So they follow a lot of Old Testament stuff, a lot of stuff out of Acts and the 7 deadly sins, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, and the old, like the Schwarzentruber, they're super old order, and they don't want anything to do with machinery, cameras, anything modern at all.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to talk to the English or anything. And the being photographed is now there's a graven image of you. You know, there's passage in the Bible about worshiping graven images. So that's why they don't want their picture taken.
I see.
But pride, they think getting higher education is prideful. So Amish only go to school till the 8th grade. And my dad and his dad, my grandfather, both went to West Virginia after the 8th grade so they wouldn't have to go to high school because there's laws stating, hey, your kids are supposed to be in school.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
In Ohio, so they send them to live with relatives.
It's interesting though. I mean, I would argue that they're probably more knowledgeable about most stuff than those that go for high school and college, you know?
So they learned how to do mathematics and reading and writing. And other than that, not a lot of science other than what you learn on a farm.
Sure.
Because most of them were farmers.
Yeah.
And they were all self-sufficient.
But but they're tradesmen too.
Right.
Yeah. So how does that work typically in an order where is it like, hey, you guys are going to be the cobblers. You guys are going to be in charge of socks.
Just like any company, you always have people that have different skills. It's like Susan might be able to do that report, but if you gave it to Betty, she wouldn't be able to do it. It would take her 4 days to do it. So it's the same thing on a farm. It's like, oh, he's really good with animals, so we're going to let him do the animals, but he doesn't know how to build a chair. But Bob over here, he's great with his hands and he can build a chair, but he can't train a horse. So on all the different farms, you always have people that have different skill sets. And
that just comes out through through life.
Yeah, that's just...
And so they get identified in the order, and it's like, okay, But do you exchange money in the order? Meaning, I need a chair.
They do have money, but most everything is bartering.
I see. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And like, I still farm more or less. I just garden.
Just on a smaller scale.
So I garden and I have stuff. I have a date palm, so I have dates, and I have sugar cane growing, and I just put out a beehive. I've had a beehive on the side of my house for almost a year that I found and put it back together and built the second box.
The super? The super, where it's got the...
Right.
The
Yeah, it had all that, and I found that stuff just along the road. I drive from here to Welton all the time, and Priority Pollination, I think, is the big company here in town, and their stuff falls off their trucks all the time. So at the golf course the other day, Angela calls me. She goes, "Hey, Brian said there's a swarm of bees up here." So I go up there, and one of the guys is throwing golf balls and rocks at this swarm of bees, and he turns on the sprinklers. I was like, all you're going to do is make them mad.
Yeah.
I said, you have to hit the queen in order to get rid of the hive. I said, the chances of you hitting the queen in a big hive is pretty slim. So I put I put a big box up there, a cardboard box, and I found the queen, and I got her into the box, and then came back a couple hours later, and 90% of the hive was in there in the box.
Oh, man.
I just took it out in the desert and put it out there with a couple of cups of water and some old sugar. And
they're thriving?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know yet? You're going to go check them?
It's only been about a week, so.
My concern is that they're Africanized. You know, I feel like 90% of the hives get Africanized, but you can fix it. You just got to get a new queen, order a queen.
Yeah.
I was going to pull up a picture I want to show you. I think it's hilarious. My dad would not. He had a similar instance where a hive started developing in a little closet that he had outside. And his idea was, I'm going to move it. You know, I'm going to cultivate this hive and all this stuff. Well, it turned aggressive, and it got him good. And so he was running away from it, and can't outrun the bees. And so by the time I got home from work, he looked like a cartoon character. His face was so puffed up. It was hilarious. He didn't think it was, but I just went out and killed it I had some scorpion spray.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Well, I'm out in the desert, so we have cans of scorpion spray just around, and that did the trick.
Yeah.
I put on one of those things. I had a bee thing, like you. You know, if I find it, I'm like, I could use that 30 years down the road. But I put it on, and I went to town. Man, they were not happy. It was super. It's a bummer. It was bittersweet because I killed them all, but at the same time, all this honey is just like flowing. You know, I'm like, oh man, that would have been great to have. Have you seen those new hives? They're called flow hives, where you just
turn it.
Yeah.
Man, I want one of those. They're expensive though.
Yeah, they are.
But
you can make one though.
Cool. Yeah, I know
you can make one. Yeah. Well, so
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can do anything. You said you went from Amish to Mennonite.
So the other thing with the Amish is you have different orders. So every order is different. Every order has their own bishops, their own elders, and they all dictate their own set of rules as far as what color clothing's going to be, what color the buggy's going to be painted, what color you paint your house, things like this.
Okay.
How many pins the woman is going to have in her dress.
Oh.
That's all written down. And a lot of the orders have Karens in them. I guess you could categorize it that way.
They're like the village.
Yeah, that you have.
Karen.
Oh, Betty doesn't have 4 pins in her hat. She only has 3. She goes and tells the elders. Now the elders come out to your house. Hey, so-and-so said you only had 3 pins in your hat the other day. You know, you're supposed to have 4 pins. They get that petty, and that's why.
What does it matter? Ultimately, what does it matter?
It doesn't. It's just the fact that you have to follow rules.
Yes, but what if you don't?
Then
what's the consequence?
Then you get shunned.
Shunned,
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Right.
You literally get shunned.
You get shunned.
Okay.
And you might be shunned for a day. You might be shunned for a month. It depends on how severe the infraction was,
and the elders determine that.
How penitent you were.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
forgot the pin. I forgot the pin today. Well,
this
is your 5th time for forgetting the pin, right. Betty.
Because I'm sure some things are blatant. So
the elders determine, because of that infraction, they have to be shunned, and they let the community know. And
right.
So the community all shuns this person.
Yep.
Interesting.
Don't
I wonder what the logic
for dinner. Don't sit next to them in church. Stuff like that.
What's the religious connection there, or the spiritual connection. Is there one in your mind, or
I think it's just the fact that you're following rules,
okay,
like following the 10 Commandments.
yeah,
Right.
to a T?
And then you have old order Amish, then you have new order Amish, which start bending those rules. Well, you can't have a tractor, but you can put a Briggs and Stratton motor on that baler and then pull it with the horse team.
Oh,
Like hook up your swing team and pull the baler around, but the baler's running off of a motor. And then
you can supplement.
right now the Stutzmans that are over in Berlin that are on the big farm, they have a diesel tractor, but it has steel wheels.
And that works. That gets away with it.
So
Okay.
that because they're with King's Church. So the King's Church is almost being old order Mennonite now.
I see.
So
And all of them, Amish and Mennonite, they all believe in Jesus Christ.
right,
Okay.
they all follow King James
Version of the Bible.
And
That's interesting. I don't know how much you've got into that, but recently I've got into the history of the King James Version of the Bible, and I've been surprised to find out, which I already knew. I took this New Testament class back in when I was in college, and I learned a lot of it then, but I forgot over time. And recently, now that I want to know it and looked into it, I was surprised that as I was looking at the books and who's the true author of James? Who's the true author of John? Mark,
Right.
Luke, John. And it's like most of these we don't know, and some of them are guessed to be written like 100 years after Jesus Christ lived. It's like so your connection to the source becomes worse and worse as time goes on, and unreliable,
more watered down.
exactly. And
It's
I'm
been
like,
translated several times.
exactly, it's to benefit the person or the translator
Right.
or their. So it's like, not that I don't believe it. I'm not saying that.
I think
It's just,
some translations were to manipulate the meaning, and others were just because the populace wouldn't understand the actual words.
I agree.
Oh, we have to use these words so everybody will know what that is.
I agree. I think that's spot on. As I've done the research, I'm like, okay, you can see malintent, through time, where,
Correct.
especially through the Catholic Church in the beginning, where they're like, well, the Jesus Christ gave the authority to Linus, who was the Bishop of Rome, and then he gave it to the next, and it goes down the line. But did that happen? We don't know. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm doing the research. My question is, did Jesus Christ actually give authority to Linus, the Bishop of Rome? And as you look through history, it's like, well, nobody really knows anything about Linus. You would think that Linus would be spoken of,
Right. There'd be something written down.
Yeah, like Mark or Luke, any of these apostles, right? Is that definitive of, no, it didn't happen, but it's not also, doesn't mean it did happen. So it's very difficult to come to a conclusion.
Have you seen the comedian Louis C.K.?
I've seen over the years, he's a little crude.
One of his routines, he pulls out a Bible and he's talking about it. And he says, he goes, well, these stories in the Bible, they're all the same. But it's like Mark said such a, and then Luke comes up and he goes, that's not how it happened.
Exactly.
This is how it happened.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It's true, though.
Exactly how it is.
It's true. It's like the most unreliable source of truth is a person's account of how it happened.
Right.
Even in the law, I mean, that's why you have to have more than one witness most of the time, and even two witnesses is sometimes unreliable because what you saw isn't what I saw. And I've seen this play out over and over in a car accident, for example.
Oh, yeah.
You've got 5 people around, and it's 5 different stories of what happened and how it happened. It's like, oh my gosh, this is not what happened,
That's why I've told people. I say, if you get in a fight in a bar or restaurant or whatever, immediately scream, "How dare you pull a knife on me?" Because some of those people are going to swear on the Bible there was a knife.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. You gotta paint the story for yourself.
Right.
Exactly. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, I suppose. So you grew up Mennonite, though. Is that what I understand you say?
Mennonite. So Mennonites these are people that have left the Amish order. They're tired of the rules, and they're still super religious. They still kind of go by 2 John's, where I think it's 2:26. 326 maybe, where you want to resist the modern conveniences, and that's what they do. So they'll have a car, but it's got to be a plain car.
I see.
They don't want chrome.
Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy.
On an Audi or a
And
BMW.
then they might have a TV, but they don't watch TV consistently.
Sure.
And they'll listen to a radio, but they're more modern, but still not super modern.
I hear you.
And then the New Order Mennonites are more or less people, but just they're almost like Mormon.
Mm-hmm. The rules.
They're Mormon without the Book of Mormon.
There you go.
That's about what they are. Yeah.
So they follow some
rules.
rules.
I've always been compared with, you should be a Mormon. You're just like us.
Yeah. Well, as you're talking, I'm like,
I don't drink. I don't.
It's very, very
smoke.
close. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the point where you're like, I'm not going to continue doing that. I'm going to do my own thing. You left, went to the West.
Yep.
When was that? When did that epiphany happen for you?
Well, my mom and dad got divorced when I was young.
Oh, really?
And
that's probably frowned upon.
Yeah.
In the Mennonite.
And what's funny is my dad got remarried, and we were at a family reunion. I think I was about 15 or 16, and my stepmother spoke German. She was like first or second generation American, and her mom spoke fluent German, which is pretty close to Pennsylvania Dutch, but not exact. And as far as the Amish and the Mennonites are concerned, my dad was still married because my mom was still alive.
Oh.
So once you're married, it
doesn't go away.
Till death do you part. So they didn't believe in the marriage that my dad had with my stepmom. And my Aunt Lizzie and my grandmother were in the kitchen just talking all kinds of smack about my stepmom in Dutch. And she walked in, and they didn't stop. They just kept talking. And all of a sudden, she led into him in German.
Is that right?
Turned red because they didn't think she understood what they were saying. But it was pretty comical.
So you were 15 at the time. Mm-hmm. As time goes on, did you stop education at 8th grade?
No,
I
graduated high school.
So you went all the way through high school.
Yeah.
And then went off to school. Is that what happened? No, you went to the Air Force.
I went in the Air Force. Yeah.
How did you make that decision?
So this is living in a town of like 800 people. And I never even knew what ROTC was. And college we had a community college in the big town that was near us, but I hated school. I was bored in school.
Because you're so smart.
School goes way too slow for me. It's like, because they reiterate and just
over and over again,
pound the theory into your head. It's like, I got it the first time. Come on. And so I was, even when I was in like junior high or grade school, they put me in special ed.
Oh,
because
okay.
they thought, it's like, no, I got this a long time ago. So I was reading and writing when in like kindergarten.
Wow.
So by the time I got into first grade and you're doing the alphabet, it's like, this is pretty slow.
Yeah.
So I was disruptive all the time.
You acted out. You're bored. Yeah.
And the school system is still, 50 years later is still like that, where they go on age instead of ability. And even when my kids were in school, because I taught my kids how to read when they were 3-4 years old, it's like, well, can they move up a grade? Well, no, we just keep them out of school for a year. It's like, why does that make sense?
It's interesting that you bring that up, because as a young father, I was really concerned about reading. I was in a church setting, and we were with some youth kids. I think they were in their teenage years, and we were taking turns reading a passage from the Bible, going around in a circle, and some would rattle it off, and you saw on display differences in reading ability. And as I saw that, it was interesting that in my mind, for some reason, I correlated the individual's connection with what was actually happening in church. And for whatever reason, as a young father, I'm like, the ones that were reading at a higher level, they were comprehending what they're reading, and that therefore they were a little bit more diligent in what was being asked of them and what they were doing, and their understanding of like God and Jesus Christ and things like that.
Right.
And so as a young father, I'm like, okay, I need to teach. If anything, I want my kids to understand how to read very well, so that they can understand what they're reading in the New Testament or in the Old Testament, because it's kind of difficult, for most American readers. We don't really teach at that level unless they get it in church setting. And so that's been kind of like a focus of my my being a father was I want my kids to be able to read so they don't get left behind, I think, down the road.
That's probably still the best way to gain knowledge is through reading.
Reading, yeah.
I mean, you can watch videos, but
Yeah. Or listen to audiobooks.
right.
I'm a visual person.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same as actually seeing the words and your brain categorizing them.
Yeah, and I've heard it's like all, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard it's all these sensory devices. So if I'm reading, I'm hearing it too, out loud as I'm reading it, and I'm seeing it. All three of those just solidify the more retention of the information coming in.
Right.
Do you think AI is going to fix that or change that?
Yeah.
You do?
I think AI is going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah. They're going to just
few
implant a
years.
chip, and then it's like, I want to know Dutch. Boop.
Yeah.
I just got back from
Matrix.
Yeah, I got back from France yesterday, and it was very difficult to speak their language. I tried my best, but it's embarrassing.
So I started learning Mandarin.
Okay,
And
and how's that going?
so if you go to China, this is what you need to know. 对不起，请问你会说英文吗?
And
Excuse me, do you speak English?
that's what I say. Parlez-vous français? That's what I say.
Once you find somebody that speaks English,
Yeah,
in any country I've been in, as soon as they know you speak English, they want to talk to you. They want to practice their English and they want to learn more English.
yeah.
So
I think that's the key.
yeah, you don't
Or
need
you
to
find a
learn.
common ground. What I was doing was in France, a lot of times I'll just speak Spanish. A lot of them knew, so that was the intermediary.
There you go.
If they didn't know English all the way, I didn't know French all the way, I would speak Spanish, and usually we met in the middle, and we just got along. It's pretty easy.
It's crazy in Europe how, I mean, everybody over there speaks French, German, Spanish.
They just hit
and
all those
English.
things. It's embarrassing, really,
Yeah.
for us. I mean,
Well,
for
they
me,
have the train too, so
exactly. Yeah, the train.
nice. They can travel all over the place, and
My biggest deal was like I don't want to sound like a white guy from America, And so I would talk to these French people like, how do I not do that? It's like, what I understood them to say was it's the R. It gives it away right away. Because when we say our R's, it's to the front of our mouth, and theirs is very in the back,
Right,
almost
yeah.
like you're gurgling,
Yeah.
So I started bonjour, like way back there. But
and a lot of times if you just go, ha, oh, oh,
yeah, they're like, oh, French. You're French.
you go like that. the little things
It's
that
the
they
little
do, all the
things.
things. Yeah, they go.
Show that you're French, yeah.
It's like me driving around San Luis with a Banda CD in my Jeep, blaring that Banda music. They don't even look at me.
That's
like,
right.
oh, he's a local.
Yeah, he's a local. It's the little things, unspoken things. Well, yeah, it didn't work. I mean, they were still like, I would try my techniques. I was using AI, like, tell me how to not sound like an American, and I tried the best I could, and they still respond in English. So that's the key. When they respond in English, it's like, oh, I did not do my job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting getting back from there. You are a boat connoisseur, I would say, to change the subject.
I can drive a boat, yeah.
Yeah, you can drive. So you've got your captain's license and all that?
No.
Oh, you just do it.
I just know how to do it.
You just know how to do it. Why would you get your captain's license?
Yeah.
I'm asking.
To
To
if
take
you
other
want,
people, I guess?
Yeah, if you want to
for
take
money?
out big boats,
I see.
then go to the Coast Guard and get your captain's license.
But your boats, I thought, were pretty big. I mean, these are like
I
yachts,
think
aren't
the
they?
biggest boat that I've piloted is 87 feet.
That's a massive boat.
It takes at least 3 people to get that one going.
That one you don't have to have your captain's license?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it's over 100 ton or 50 ton, or it's something really big.
But
That one, I mean, it'd be nice if you had your captain's license, but but the owner hired myself and one other guy to go out with him and take it out, and I was like, okay,
and you did it.
yeah,
No problem.
yeah, I don't have a problem.
Did it have all the masts you got to figure out and do?
Yeah,
Yeah. You're looking at
Well,
me
it's
like
got-
you're an idiot.
had twin diesels in it, so it's a
Trolling
cabin cruiser.
motors.
Yeah,
I was surprised to find out that even these big multi-million-dollar boats, like they go, max 45 miles an hour?
oh, that's flying.
That's
Most of
flying?
them, yeah.
It's
So
embarrassing.
So the biggest boat I had was a Sea Ray 440, and it had twin 3208 Caterpillar 350 horsepower.
3208 Caterpillar. 350 horsepower.
Yeah, 350 horsepower. 3208 Caterpillar 350 horsepower. diesel motors in it. And the fastest that would go would probably be about 28 knots.
Which is what in miles per hour would you get?
Maybe 30 miles an hour.
That's why it takes so long to get to Catalina. Yeah. It's like, it's
and
right there.
That's like full,
I could swim
full
that.
throttle, and a round trip would be probably $2,000 in fuel to go up there.
There's got to be better ways.
Yeah.
Once I heard that recently, I'm like, what are we doing here?
But I helped a guy with a 70-foot striker. It's a big fishing boat. You can go out and get marlin with this thing. And it had big Rolls-Royce motors in it.
Okay.
This is a high-end boat. And my boat broker buddy would call me up and he goes, hey, I'm putting such and such on the boat. How much you think it is? And I'd say, a boat that big, it's got to be like $2,500. He goes, try 12,000. I was like, man, for like one little component on the motor.
Yeah.
But those boats, I mean, they sink a lot of money into.
Yeah. You definitely, it's a hobby that
yeah.
Yeah.
So that 87 footer, the last time I helped take that out, it was a group of Indians. So
from India,
that they were all restaurant owners in the San Diego area. So they wanted to go to Catalina, spend the night and go for the day in Catalina and then come back. So we were going to leave at midnight, and then they were going to play cards or whatever on the trip up, and then hang out up there for a day, and then we come back the next day or the next night. And my boat broker buddy calls me and he goes, hey, you want to help me take this charter up? And I was like, I looked at the weather and I said, oh, it's going to be 72. That's pretty nice. I didn't look at the wind. They had like 40-mile-an-hour winds. They had 6 and 7 foot seas out there, which even in an 87-foot boat, that's throwing it around a lot. So by the time we got out to the 3 mile out past Point Loma, all of these guys were over the side. They were in the bathrooms. It was just
horrible.
And the guy that owned the boat hadn't run the boat in a year, so the motors were really putting off a lot of diesel smell.
Like all of it combined.
So you're like in the Love's truck stop parking lot smelling diesel.
Yeah.
And then all these guys brought these huge pans of curry. So you have curry everywhere and diesel smell. And even now I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do curry yet.
Yeah.
And myself, the guy that owned the boat, and my boat broker buddy were the only ones that weren't sick. Everybody else was sick.
That's crazy.
Hanging over the side. And then stuff started breaking on the boat because the boat's just turning from side to side. So, and I told Bruce, I said, you go up and I'll drive back. So I went up on the flybridge. I went all the way to the top of the boat with my sleeping bag, and I got on a bench, and I'm trying to stay on the bench and trying to fall asleep. It's like 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, no. And
pretty soon it got really calm. And I was like, oh, wow, the wind knocked down. And I looked up, and the lights are on the wrong side of the boat. And I was like, oh, he turned around. I said, what happened? He goes, they said no.
They quit.
So we only got up as far as Mission Bay, went into Mission Bay and docked. And
oh, no.
They all got off.
How far is that? Or not how far. How long is that you typically in an average boat from Mission Bay to Catalina?
So
it's a good 5 hours, isn't it?
If you're in a sailboat, we're only doing 7 or 8 knots on a good day. You're talking 8-9 hours to get up there. Where I had a buddy, he had a pool equipment company that built pool equipment.
Yeah.
His boat would do almost 40 knots. And this is a 65-foot boat. And he would fly up there in 2 hours. He'd be up there.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good for a big boat.
Yeah, totally.
And then when you get up there, there's a big bay. So we never went around to Avalon. We always stayed on the California side. And well, I guess that is Avalon right there too. But there's a big bay, and that's where you anchor. There's no docks. Well, there's one dock, but it's only for the little taxi boats. They'll pick you up at your boat.
Catalina, you're saying?
Yeah, Catalina.
When you get there.
Catalina Island. So you get there, and there's a mooring buoy. So you throw your anchor down, and then you pick up a buoy line and tie your boat up on both ends so it doesn't move around. But the water up there, you're in 70 foot of water, and you can see the bottom. You can see fish down there.
That's what I've heard is
super
crystal clear.
Yeah.
And the sharks, the bull sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you scuba?
No,
You don't?
my ears are bad.
That's what I thought too.
I did when I was in Okinawa. Over there, for $100, you get your license.
Is that right?
And there was tanks and gear and BC vests everywhere on that island.
Yeah. I'm sure that's trustworthy.
Yeah. And we go out at night. We dive at night.
Oh man.
And get
That's when the
pencil
sharks are out.
urchins. So pencil urchins are like an urchin, but the spines look like a pencil. They're
That
as big as
thick.
my finger. They're huge, but really tasty.
Oh, that's why. So you get them off the rocks, and then what? How do you cook that?
Most of the time, you eat it raw.
What?
Put
It's all
soy
gooey?
sauce and shell sauce on it, and
It's all
yeah,
gooey
it's like a
or
oyster,
slurpy?
kind of like.
Yeah. Ugh. Okay.
Not a fan.
No, I mean, as long I can't do the fishy smell, the fishy taste. I just don't do that.
Where are you from?
Here, Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah. Why? Does that make a difference?
yeah.
What?
You're more of a meat eater than a fish eater, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I can do fish again if I can't taste it. Growing up, I used to like hold my
Tuna
breath.
fish.
Yeah, tuna fish.
Tuna's fine, but
Yeah, tuna fish I do.
and Mrs. Paul's
What's Mrs. Paul's?
fish sticks.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, gross. No, I do shrimp. The bottom
Yeah.
feeders. Probably stuff you shouldn't eat, but
Right.
I
Shrimp are good.
yeah, fish, shrimp tacos and stuff like that. That's great. But you yourself served in the Air Force for how long?
10 years.
Wow. And what was your primary job?
I was a security police dog trainer, military working dog.
Because you speak German?
A little bit.
Because that's what you do, right? Don't they speak German in those canine units?
So in 85, 86, the end of 85, early 86, we went to Europe and bought Schutzen trained dogs, and we were looking for Malinois mostly, but we bought a lot of Shepherds and some Bouviers and giant Schnauzers, stuff like that. And shipped them all back to Lackland in San Antonio and started training them. And at first we tried to teach the handlers German and just let the dogs keep using their German commands. And it was so hard to teach the handler anything that we just started training the dogs in English.
Oh, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, so plots and all that, we just stopped using all that.
And so our dogs now are trained in English?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so how long did you do that?
10 years.
So the whole time?
So when I went into the Air Force, I did all the testing, and I went into electronic warfare systems is what I was supposed to go into. So complete basic training. They don't call it boot camp. They call it basic training in the Air Force.
Because you're smarter than everybody else. That's what they say.
So after basic training, they said, oh, your school has been delayed for 6 weeks. Do you want to stay in Lackland, or do you want to go into another career field? And I said, what other career field? They said, well, security police is open. And I said, what's that? They said, well, you have security specialists, which is, guarding planes and missiles and things like that. Or you have security police. They said, that's Hill Street Blues. This is back in 1982. So I was like, oh, Hill Street Blues is for me. So I got into the police academy, the Air Force Police Academy. And in the third week of the police academy, I remember it was after self-defense week, the dog guys came up. They said, hey, we're looking for volunteers for K9. And I said, hey, I'll do K9. And so I was in Lackland for basic training, and then the academy, and then
That's
K9
crazy.
school. So
You
I
went
was there
right.
for 6 months,
That's cool.
stuff.
You kind of lucked out, I would argue. So have you always had like an affinity with animals?
Yeah, being a farmer.
Mm-hmm. You just work well with them. You're not scared of dogs, and so
No.
yeah.
And I kind of shock people when I go and inspect someone's house as an appraiser, and they'll have a dog, and the dog's just, and I'll just walk right in, and they're like, aren't you afraid of my dog? I was like, no. It's like, your dog's afraid of me. That's why he's barking at me right now. I said, look at him. And I did a house the other day, and the lady had a big dog, and it was in the backyard, and I said, oh, I'm not afraid of dogs. She goes, well, he's going to jump on you. I was like, only once. I said, then he's going to calm down. And she let him in, and he came up, and he didn't even jump on me. He just looked at me. I just stood there and ignored him. And he was like, oh, okay. And I told her, I said, do you know why dogs jump on people? I said, it's because when they're puppies everybody gets excited to be a puppy, and they're like, "Oh, look at your puppy!"
Yeah.
I said their energy and their voice gets amped up, and of course the dog gets amped up, like and they jump up and they lick your face. I said, well, that doesn't go away when they get older. When somebody new comes in, they think they're supposed to get amped up whenever they see somebody. And I said, that's why they always jump on people. I said, if you tell people when you come in, just stand still at the door, after a while your dog's going to be like, oh, this is boring. This person's not amped up. And they'll just go, oh, okay. And they'll go do their thing. But I went in the backyard. I took the dog into the backyard and was playing with him. And I came back in and I was flinching at the dog, and the dog's like this. And the lady was just cracking up. She goes, I've never seen him do that. And I was like, it's like your dog wants to play.
Oh, yeah, poor thing. Yeah.
I'm more apt to talk to dogs than
people.
People. Oh, yeah. It's funny. I go through houses. I'm sitting there talking to the dog the whole time. And they, have you made any upgrades to the house?
Yeah. So what would be the key if there is an aggressive dog? Is there any tricks?
A loud noise. I carry a clipboard, and if a dog looks like he's going to come at me, I'll just snap the clip on the clipboard. He makes that loud snapping noise, and sometimes that'll shock him.
Okay.
And then I can also use the clipboard to block it. But I've been bit. I've been bit a few times.
But not hard bites, just letting you know that I'm here.
The worst one was probably been 6 months ago. So I get to this lady's house, and the dog is in like a fenced off area. But I had to go into that fenced off area. So I guess the lady took the dog in the house, but I didn't know it. And I did all the outside photos, and I came back and I knocked on the door, and she said, come in. And I went in, and the dog was sitting to the right of me, and she was standing over in the kitchen area. So now I'm between the dog and mommy, and the dog's looking at me, and it's doing the slow tail wag, and that's not a good sign.
Okay.
When they do that, they're thinking about something. They're like, oh, do I want to bite this guy or not? And about that time, I don't know what I did, but so I was wearing a black shirt, black pants, black shoes, black hat, and dogs see kind of a reverse negative. So I already look weird to the guy, to the dog. And I moved, and he just grabbed my leg and ripped my pants and cut my leg open. And the lady was freaking out, thinking, oh, I'm going to have to put my dog down now. I said, that was totally my fault. I said, I never should have been between you and your dog. I said, because your dog is protecting you. Yeah.
And that's it. That was the end of the story. Yeah, I think we have a 1 bite rule here in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I never said anything. She was scared to death that she was going to have to put her dog down.
That's
but
tough.
It did put a pretty good scar on me.
Let's see. Man, those socks are nice. Oh yeah, it is good. That's a good one. Yeah, those are nice. How do you make them out of wool?
Yeah.
Only wool.
Wool cotton blend.
What's merino wool? What's the difference there?
So if you get virgin wool, I don't know how I would wash them because.
What's that? What's virgin wool?
Virgin wool hasn't been washed. It's just been spun and.
You spin your own wool?
No.
You can.
It's a hard.
You've done it though?
It takes a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried when my wife Angela had her pet grooming. She had a mobile dog grooming business.
That's right, yeah.
I tried saving some of the hair from dogs and spinning it. I thought that would be cool to. It's like,
would it be cool?
If you had a big dog, let's say you had a Labradoodle or something, and she groomed the dog, and I made wool out of your dog's hair and made something for you, don't you think that would be cool?
I don't know.
Well, you're not a girl either. So.
That's true. I don't know.
That would
Off
be
the top of my head, no. But unless I saw it, maybe you could convince me. I don't know.
That would be a panty dropper for a girl.
Oh no!
Oh my God! You made this out of the
like a pot warmer or a pot holder?
Yeah, something.
All right.
Some mittens.
Yeah. Have you seen you can duplicate your dog now? Have you seen that where my dog dies, but I can take DNA from it? To certain companies, it's super expensive, but they can clone your dog.
Really?
The challenge is like behaviorally, it's not going to be the same. Maybe you know.
It's all life experience.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an exact clone.
That would be cool.
Would you do that?
My current dog, I probably would because
Yeah.
he's such a great dog.
That's the way I feel about one of our dogs.
Yeah.
The other one, not so much. He's an idiot.
I got a French bulldog now, and he's just a character.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 5 now, so he's out of his puppy phase. So
Would you make something out of his fur?
no, too wiry.
Well, there's your answer to your gray scheme of business.
Right.
I don't know how much that would sell, but maybe it's a little add-on to the grooming business.
I'm always coming up with
Scheming.
new businesses. You know that? I talk to people. It's like, well, you should try this, and this. And they're like, oh, that's a great idea. It's like, yeah, I know.
Somebody needs to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about like most things that I see. Like I had that idea 10 years ago. I should have done it, you know.
So I had an ideal. Oh, this has got to be 30 years ago, called dial a lens, and it was a way.
Lens.
It was a way to manipulate the lens on your glasses, and I thought maybe turning it or something.
Yeah.
And so
Changing
grind the lens so it had one prescription here, but you could turn the lens.
Oh, cool.
And turn the
Like
prescription.
click, click, click.
And now they have that
Oh man, John, you missed out.
with it.
That's actually a great idea. I just hit 42, so it's like my vision, they say, is gone. I don't believe it, and I refuse to go to the optometrist. But yeah, I got to go like from here to over there. I got to go like this, you know. I have really
What about reading?
Reading, yeah, everything's fine. Like from
Really?
here to here, it's just a certain distance. It can be blurry.
Mine's the reading.
Yeah.
Gotta wear readers.
I tried that. It didn't work. I mean, I just don't like it. Kind of makes me sick.
So mine, I never had any problem reading anything until I went to an eye doctor, and it was the first time I had ever had my eyes dilated, and they never went back.
What? Really?
So they put eye drops in my eyes. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, we're going to put these eyes. Okay, go sit in the waiting room and we'll come get you. So I'm out there reading a magazine. Pretty soon the magazine's getting more and more blurry. I'm like this trying to read it.
You probably weren't supposed to do that.
Do the whole exam. And then I'm driving back from Tucson and I call my wife. I said, man, everything's like super bright right now. She goes, what do you mean? I said, yeah. I said, everything got blurry. And then I said, right now I'm wearing sunglasses and it's still bright. She goes, they dilated your eyes. You're not supposed to be driving.
or reading or any of that.
That day forward, I've had to wear readers.
Oh, man. That's a bummer. There's probably a lawsuit somewhere in there.
Maybe.
I don't know. I know a guy. We're out of time, though, John. That's the problem. Okay. I know we just barely scratched the surface of this Renaissance man that you are, but we'll have to have you back.
We didn't even get into growing marijuana yet.
Okay. All sorts of stuff. We have not. Yeah. Yeah. We have not. Is there a market for that?
I don't know. I don't.
Oh, you don't
think of
know.
it myself, but I love
the guy
growing.
you know.
I like growing plants.
Yeah.
Well, I grew a plant this summer that was 6 feet tall, and I tried drying it, and I guess I dried it too fast or something. Mm-hmm. And I gave it to some guys, and they said, "Oh, that's terrible." So I just took everything that I grew and threw it away. And they were like, "Hey, what'd you do with it?" I was like, "Threw it away." They're like, "What?" And they freaked out that I threw like a pound of this stuff away.
Really?
I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna do anything with it. I don't."
Have you heard of a moringa? Moringa?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
That's a tree.
Yeah, it's like the miracle tree.
Yeah, you make tea out of it.
Yeah, or you can eat it or grind the. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. My dad does that, so he.
Oh yeah, that's
he gets
good
the
for
pods
you.
and then he grinds them and then he pills them.
Yeah.
So I take a couple of those every day. Yeah.
I never thought of eating it.
Yeah, he grinds it and he got a little pill maker on Amazon and then he gets the pill shells on eBay.
Yeah.
He pills it. You know, he adds some other stuff. I don't know, cayenne pepper maybe. He adds a little, but he has a recipe. I don't know if it does anything, but I've been taking them for a little while.
Can't hurt. It's natural.
Maybe it can. I don't know. I don't know that.
I don't know.
But it hasn't yet. So
Again,
anyway,
natural.
then maybe you get into that stuff. One thing to add to your list.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we got to go.
All right.
Till next time. I'm glad you came on. I know I had to convince you and twist your arm. What are we going to talk about? You know,
I was like, I don't know what I should talk about.
you can talk about anything. That's the great thing.
Well, we talked about appraisals for a while. So
Yeah, that's good. That's your business.
I can write this off.
Write it off as a business expense. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
I did write off my boat for a long time.
Did you?
I couldn't write off the slip fee, which was the most expensive.
Yeah.
But the actual mortgage of the boat, the mortgage that I had on the boat, I could write all that off, and the utilities I could write off.
What was your justification? You
I
said.
had to do 3 appraisals a month in San Diego.
Oh, I see.
So that was just an
And
office.
it's business
Right.
expense. I love it. Well done. Okay. I love sticking it to the man, and I know you do too. And with that, we're going to go.
All right.
All right. So Martin he'll take this, he'll rip it all up, grab 15 minutes, 3 15-minute sections. He'll throw it to the radio. They'll air it on Monday, and then the YouTube version will go live as well. That'll just be the full uncut version.
Yeah, Angela goes, oh, what channel is it? I'm going to watch it. I was like, it's not going to be on today. We're not going live. I said, they're going to edit it, I hope.
Yeah. I will. So I use this AI program. It goes through, and it'll, like, if I want to, it can cut out like the silences and things like that.
Right.
So it's surprising how much we say those things, and
Right.
it really kind of condenses it down and chops it out.
Cameras, though.
These are just normal digital cameras. Not normal. They're Nikon D5300s. You know, they're like they're older cameras, but they give you a great image.
I think
if
some of the older stuff is better.
Yeah.
It's like my sister likes to sell stuff on eBay.
Uh-huh.
And I said, if you get any old printers that have a lot of ink, I said, let me know. She goes, why? I said, you can counterfeit with those. I said, the newer printers, if you put a $100 bill in there, it won't even copy it.
Exactly. That happens to us upstairs. Like sometimes we get paid in cash, and when we started to put it on the glass, it won't do it.
Yep.
Like,
It goes, nope, you can't counterfeit me. But I came up years ago. I said, why don't you shred? Because I make paper.
Yeah.
I said, if I took $1 bills and shredded them and then made paper out of that, I technically have the actual paper, and then I could print on that, and you wouldn't be able to tell. But now they have holograms and threads and all kinds of stuff in them now.
That's true. I wonder if there's any in circulation that don't have all that stuff. 50s and 100s,
Right.
Something like that. Interesting.
So you can only counterfeit like $1 bills because they still look the same.
Yeah. So you can do all that work, and it's like you can just print
$1.
$1 bills. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, you got to get to work, or no?
No.
You don't even know.
I have like 8 to get out between now and Monday.
How many do you typically do a day?
2, maybe 3 if I get bored.
Mm-hmm. You can do as many as you want.
Yeah.
It's just
anywhere I want, as long as I have a signal.
It's just a matter of you physically have to go once.
Right. I have to actually visually see the house in order to meet USPAP standards. And then after that, I take comp photos and then sit in my office and do all the research.
The house I was talking about is over here in Heritage Park. You familiar with Heritage Park?
Mm-hmm.
We bought a lot there a few years ago when the legal immigration got really bad. Like they were coming right through we live out here in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to build there, but then my wife...
They're almost out to your house now.
Yeah, exactly. And so we bought...
I go that way when I go to San Luis now.
Oh, you do?
Like I did, like yesterday, I did a final inspection over in Saguaro 4, and then I went back through the desert and out. Yeah. And it used to be a long way. Now it's like, oh, I'm almost there. Yeah. I'm already to 13 already.
That's all state trust land. That's why we like that property, because it's kind of surrounded by state trust land, and then the bombing range.
Same thing in San Luis. I was talking to your man about San Luis, and I said, yeah, I've learned some stuff from Nieves Rydell, because I asked her when they started Bienestar 9A and B, which is like 3 miles from San Luis. Now that area is as big as San Luis proper now.
Is it really?
All the housing they've built out there, in the hospital, and now they got a strip mall they've almost got completed. But everything in between there is trust land. It was BLM, and now somebody else has it. But somebody had land in Utah and Nevada that he traded for the land out that's being built up now.
So that trust land got converted?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew eventually it's going to go away, but we had time,
Yeah.
Probably decades before that happens, because there's rules on it and all that stuff.
Right.
It's not easy to just convert it. And I think the school system has like first dibs on it. is my understanding. It's been a while since I researched it.
I remember when they did Estrella down in Somerton, they left the center was given to the town to build a school, and they had so many years to build it, and after they didn't, it reverted back.
Oh, yeah. My brother is a superintendent in California, and before he was the superintendent of the district, he was the vice, I don't know, one underneath that. And there's a team of them. His job was to acquire swaths of land and then develop those for building the schools. And it's California, so they go all out, turf and stadiums and all that stuff in the high school realm. And he told me, so I bought 40 acres from one of our dead clients here, one of the estates, probably 3 years ago. 40 acres right by where we are.
Nice.
Just sitting on it, And he told me what they do over there, the developers, what they'll do is they'll sell everything, but they'll withhold maybe 10 acres in the middle, and then they sell it to a developer like Halls or Jacobson. They come in, develop everything, bring all the utilities, and then that's covenanted. Yeah. The middle part's covenanted only for education, so the only people that can buy it is the district, but it's all got everything to it. So now you can sell it for buku bucks, to the district. So that's
smart.
I was wondering if that's maybe what we do with that 40 acres. We need a school on this side, I would argue.
Yeah. And in California, they started the laws where when you do a development, it has to have renewable energy, wind or solar. And these guys were, having solar companies come out and put solar panels on all the houses they built. And I knew a developer over there. I was like, "You guys are dumb." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Take 4 lots, build a solar farm, sell the solar to these guys." I said, "Now you have an asset that you can depreciate, plus you're making money." He goes, "Why didn't we think of that?" And that's what they do now.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, one of the ideas you don't get money for.
Right.
Dang it. You're just too nice.
I know.
Nice. Well, let me get you want a shirt? I have a shirt.
You probably have to get to work, huh?
Yeah. I got to get to work, right now.
We didn't even talk about telescopes yet.
I know, we didn't talk about
So do you have lights at your house? Like big yard lights that you can't turn off, or can you make it pitch black?
We make it pitch black, yeah. I do have those lights.